Hi there, my name is Barbara and welcome to our Against the Wall practice. Having said we're using the wall, if you don't have one, then, or enough wall space to do anything like that with, you are more than welcome to lean against a piece of furniture. It could be a chair, it could be the side of a bed, it could be a couch, whatever works for you, just some place that's going to give you a little support and a little assist, so we can play with some yoga poses in a slightly different way. So let's begin. As you lean into whatever structure you're leaning against, and you sit back slightly, and feel the back of the head pressing into whether it's a wall or whatever you're working with. Start to breathe slowly and deeply in and out. And notice whether you're leaning evenly between left and right side of your body. Notice if you're breathing deeply enough that you feel your body rising and lowering against the structure that's behind you. Good. And start to create a stronger focus, a greater attention to where you are, how your body is feeling, where your comforts are, your discomforts perhaps, simply so you're more aware of what is taking place within. Keeping the shoulders pressed against whatever structure you're working in. Drop your chin to your chest and letting the head come forward. Take some half neck rolls for now, letting the chin graze across your chest from side to side. And then as you lift the head again, big shoulder roll. Now from here, extend your arms out to the sides, pressing these arms into the wall or your structure that you're working with. Again, noticing left and right, arm, shoulder, hand. And then on your inhale, sweep these arms overhead, keeping the hands shoulder width apart. Use your exhalation to let these arms come halfway down. And then inhaling, arms draw up. And exhaling, reaching back out. We'll take 3 more rounds, working the arms and the shoulders. Now when you finish this one, drop your left hand to the ground. Reach your right arm to the ceiling. Once again, you're leaning back, helping to align the shoulders, the back. Walk the left hand out a little to the left. Extend your right arm over the head. And so we're using a wall that's behind us as an alignment tool, some kind of structural assist. So we get a sense of what's taking place in our shoulder, this right side and the right part of the back. Head can be turned up or forward or down. Inhaling, come all the way up. Take a big shoulder roll when you release, and let's start to lift this left arm. And then taking a side bend to the right, right hand walking out to the right, left arm reaching over. And once again, you might notice that not all of the arm is resting at that structure behind you, particularly if you have some shoulder issues. So working with differences that we might experience left and right side of our bodies. Inhaling, come up. Once you release, again, take a big shoulder roll. From here, adjust your leg position so whatever was your outside foot is now your inside foot. Return back to the structure that is behind you, just pressing into it again. Drop your right ear down to your right shoulder. And letting the head lift, left ear to left shoulder. Let the head again lift. And then start to turn your head to your right, breathing over your right shoulder, taking your head back to a neutral point and to your left, and letting your head come back to that natural point. Good. From here, extend your arms again out to the sides, a little differently now though. Bend your elbows so the palms are facing out, the fingertips pointing to the ceiling. The shoulder blades pressed to the wall behind you. And then allowing this right arm to come forward in front of your chest. And then returning this bent right elbow back. And then taking this to the left. And back. And let's just alternate one side to the other side, continuing to use this structure to support us. Take one more set, and then we'll build on this with both arms coming in front, and perhaps you might even let these forearms completely touch as you open your arms back out. Drawing back in and out. We'll take 3 more rounds. Last one. And release. Once again, a couple of shoulder rolls. And then from here, let's extend our legs straight out. Reach out through the heels, bring your hands under your thighs for a moment, just drawing the flesh out and back, so we are a little bit more rooted on sitting bones. Lean into the structure behind you. Inhaling, sweep these arms overhead. And if you can now, catch your left wrist, lean into the wall. Take a little side bend to your right. Sitting bones stay rooted. Find your way up. Switch the position, leaning to the left. Let's make our way up. And once you release, fold forward over your legs. Let the chest lower, reaching the hands forward. They may not make it as far as the feet. Maybe you hold the ankles. Possibly you let your hands rest on the ground. Let's take 5 breaths or so right here. Almost done. And then on your inhale, when you do come on up, let's bring the soles of our feet together. Now with the support of something behind you, it's a little easier then to, instead of just holding ankles, you might even bring your hands to your knees, nudging these knees downwards, working the inner thighs a little bit more. And without this good support on the back, it's a little more challenging on your spine. So you can play with this a little differently, using this wall as a prop right now. Staying here just a touch longer. Feeling the pinky toes pressing downwards. And then when you finish this, we're making a transition to a tabletop pose. When you come to table, curling your toes, pressing your feet, here I'm working with the baseboard, but pressing the balls of the feet into what is behind you. And as you do so, extending your hands slightly further forward and moving through some cat and cow flows. So your inhale, the head and tailbone lift. Your exhalation, you're rounding the spine. One movement and one breath. We're just going to take 2 more sets. And 1 more set. And as you finish this set, take your knees a couple of inches further forward. So the feet are away from the wall for a moment. Walk your hand then slightly further forward. Come to a down dog. We're going to use the wall in just a moment to help us with some standing and balancing poses. So start to walk your hands to your feet and make your way to standing. We'll take a couple of shoulder rolls. And then we're going to take a quarter turn so our left hand can come to, again, whether it's the wall or a piece of furniture, slightly bent left elbow, right hand to right hip. Do let your right heel lift. And we're going to take on some figure eights. So as you engage this left leg, standing as tall as possible, and take figure eights with this raised now right leg. So whether you're using a wall, whether you're using perhaps a table to hold on to, just something that you can take on a little more work with our hip, opening our hip up. And let's reverse the figure eights. Couple more rounds. Loosening up our hip joints some more. And then when you lower both feet, walk your feet out a little more to the right so that left elbow is slightly bent but not as bent. Draw your right arm to the ceiling. Press the left hand into your structure to press your right hip further forward and draw your right arm overhead. Breathe deeply, breathe slowly, breathe rhythmically. Head position can be turned up if you like, or down if that bothers your neck. And once again, extending as much as we can over to the left. With your in-breath, come on up. Now from here, lift your right heel off the ground. Try to pick up this right foot so that your right hand is holding this right knee. Again, standing as straight as possible. And then on your exhalation, your next exhale, squeeze this right knee out to the right. Let's hold this a little longer. Bring this leg back and lower the foot. We're going to continue to work this right side, a little different version of dancer, using the left hand to help us stay in this. Pick up this right foot. Now, if you find you have very tight hamstrings and this is as far as you can go, that's fine. If you're able to catch your right foot, first squeeze your knees together and then begin to draw this right leg back, leaning your upper body forward some. So if you happen to be using a table, for example, or an armrest of a chair, you could even rest that left forearm on it. Continue to breathe into this. Good, stretch through the quadricep and release. Let's take these to the opposite side. So we're going to turn this time. That right hand is going to rest on whatever support you're using. Left hand to left hip. Let that left heel lift. And as you do so, take on some figure eights. Moving now this left leg around. Take the figure eights the other way. Very awkward going in that reverse direction. And release. Good. Now from here, that left heel lifts. We're now going to pick up this left knee, reaching it up to the midsection. Again, standing tall and drawing this left knee out to the side. I'm going to do the side bend after this one. Inhaling as you bring the knee back and release. Stepping out a little further, coming to that side bend, prep the right hand holding onto the wall. Left arm lifts and take this side bend now over to your right. Stretching now more and more through the left side of your body. Steady inhales, steady exhales. Inhaling to come up, let's release. So now moving into that dancer pose as we start to let our left heel lift. Catching this foot, squeezing again the knees close together, kind of on your low back. Walking your way forward a little. Working your way into this this quadricep stretch on this left side. And again, steady breaths in and out.
So you work with Brandon Peters?
Another 2 or 3 breaths right here.
Zach Trainer?
Big Zach. We've been working with Zach for a while. I was working with Zach when I was over at
Let's release. Now, once you release, take a wider angle with the legs, leaning your back against the wall. Have your feet slightly forward, toes turning forward. And with the tailbone pressing into the structure, fold forward over this wide angled leg position. Planting the left hand to the ground at a midpoint of left and right foot. And you can always rest this left hand on a block or a book or two if you don't have a block. And then on your inhale, right arm lifts up to the ceiling. So we're adding this twist. The crown of the head extending forward. Using this wall now as just a little bit of an assist. Once you lower and hang forward for a moment, continuing to lean into the structure, and then let's start to lift this left arm. Same intention. Might feel different in this alternate direction. And then slowly release. Still leaning into the wall with your tailbone, start to bend your right knee, lean a little to your right. Feeling this impact through the inner left thigh. And then slide to the left. And we'll take just another couple of rounds, moving side to side. And then when you finish this set off, return and hang forward once again. From here, walk the feet a little closer together. Bring your hands to your thighs, roll yourself up to standing. And then let's bring these feet much closer together, walking them also a little further forward. So sometimes termed a chair pose, we're going to use the wall to play with it. So your upper body comes forward. Again, tailbone is leaning into the structure. Left forearm on those knees. Try to keep the knees in line with each other. And then allow this right arm now to draw up towards the ceiling. So it's a twist in Utkatasana. Let's release. Switch side. Left arm lifts, right forearm is resting on these thighs. And slowly release. Do make your way all the way to standing. Walk the feet back a little. So So we're going to come to a standing side bend leaning into the wall as opposed to when we turned in another angle. Right arm again lifts, and you're playing with that potential to bring the arm as close to the structure as possible and begin to lean over to this left side. Adjust your head position to any point that feels good for you. Press firmly through the right foot as much as the left. In fact, you can even focus a little bit more on pressing that right pinky toe downwards to emphasize the elongation we're taking on this right side. Let's make our way up. Let's switch sides, left arm lifts, side bend now over to the right. And once again, breathing, extending, rooting the feet, just toning and massaging our body. Make your way up, let's release. Once you do, again take a big shoulder roll. And from here you can bring your hands to your hips. Let your right heel lift. Coming back to a little bit of balance work with an assist. Draw your right knee out just like we did when we turned to one side, but now extend it and bend it. Extend it and bend it. And you might find that each time you're extending and bending that you're coming up a little bit higher. One more. And let's take this to the other side. So that left heel lifts. Again, we're lifting this left knee, extending and bending. And we're taking a few more on this side. And let's release. Good. From here, walk your way a little further forward. Lean your back into the wall that's behind you. Imagine you're sitting down into a chair. Doesn't have to be very low. Maybe that chair's a bar stool, perhaps. You're coming down lower to a lower chair, but giving you a chance to strengthen the muscles around your knees. So you have that potential to sink deeper. If you have knee issues, you need to be cautious and not come down too far. So moving mindfully, moving consciously. And then make your way up. Let's walk the feet back. And we're going to take another quarter turn now. So you're stepping away from the wall. You can bring a hand onto the structure. And see if you can come all the way down into a squat. And of course, if you don't need the wall, you're just taking a squat without it. Maybe you're on the balls of the feet as I am. Staying here just a bit longer. 3 more deep breaths right here. And if you need that assist to bring you back up, then you take that assist, coming back up to standing. When you do, return your back to the wall. We're going to take a wide stride again, a little differently now. Feet can be slightly further forward. Right foot turns out. We're coming into basically a wall-assisted warrior 2. So that right knee bends, shoulder blades press back. Feel as though the navel is pointing out towards the left side of your hip and thigh. Extend the arms out. Continue to lunge. And then possibly bringing your right forearm onto your right thigh. Roll this left shoulder blade back and extend this left arm over your head. So you're leaning into the structure, gives you a little more stability, gives you a chance to play and fine-tune a pose like this a little more. Come on up. Right foot turns out, left foot turns in. Start to bend the left knee and draw the right side back. So again, your navel is moving to a hip, it's just the right one this time. Extending your arms, knee pointing out to the left. Breathing, staying steady. And then that left elbow can come onto the left forearm. And this right arm extending more and more over your head. Rolling that right shoulder blade back. Make your way up. Walk your feet back in. Once you come back, again, you can turn if you need that assist for the squat. Find your way down into a squat. And when you come to take a seat, you're going to bring the legs up to whether it's the wall or the side of your bed. So you'll scoot one hip in very close. As you draw close to this, with your hands working their way behind you, it gives you an opportunity to bring these legs up, taking the weight off the feet. Should you need to slide something under your tailbone or buttocks, you can always put a cushion or a blanket there, gives you a little extra support. And we're just going to come into one hip release. Right ankle comes onto the left thigh, and that left knee bends, resting that foot against the wall. Sometimes referred to as pigeon on our back. Maybe bringing that right hand to the right knee. Just hold this 5 breaths or so on each side. That right foot pretty active, so you're curling your toes into your right shin here. And let's release. And we're switching sides. Left ankle to right thigh, right knee bends. Left foot is active. And again, squeezing the knees of the left knee forward. 2 more breaths on this side. And then releasing. So legs are elevated. You're welcome to stay like this if you prefer for a little longer. Or you might come up and take a seat. As we move to close this session, bringing palms together, hand to hand at heart center. Once again, my name is Barbara. Stay safe, stay well. Namaste.